Hey, you are here. You're welcome to today's video. And in this video, I'll be talking about glycolysis. Now, let's get underway. Glycolysis. Now, for you to understand this concept called glycolysis, you have to bisect these words to dissect them so you can understand what it means. Now, glyco means glucose, lysis means breakdown. Simply, that means the breakdown of glucose molecule. Now, glucose is actually a cis carbon molecule, and in glycolysis, glucose is converted to pyruvate. It's converted to pyruvate, a three carbon compound, meaning that glucose undergoes a process called phosphorylation. Phosphorylation to give series of compounds before arriving at the end product, which is a two molecule of pyruvate. Now let's get down to the steps that glucose passes through before arriving at pyruvate. Now don't forget, for these reactions to be possible, there has to be enzymatic reactions. Enzymatic reactions or enzymatic actions, meaning that this glycolysis is enzyme-based steps. Now let's get down to the steps which glucose passes before arriving at pyruvate. Let's go. Okay, like I said earlier, all those reactions does not occur without the help of enzyme. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. Now this is glucose compound, and it is converted to glucose 6 phosphate. Now before I continue, at the end of this video I'm going to show you a simple mnemonic which you will use to understand the 10 steps accurately without stressing yourself. Okay, I'm going to show you, just stay with me. Glucose is converted to glucose 6 phosphate by the help of an enzyme called hexokinase. But before that, this takes in energy. This takes in ATP. ATP enters the system. ATP is converted to ADP. ATP is an energy currency in the body. Energy is stored as ATP in the body, and it is pronounced as adenosine triphosphate. This is one molecule less of ATP, which is adenosine diphosphate. Okay, and this operates in the presence of magnesium ion. Right now, this occurs through the help of an enzyme called hexokinase. Hexokinase helps in the conversion of glucose, as phosphorylation of glucose molecule to glucose 6 phosphate. All right, now this compound here undergoes isomerization to give us fructose 6 phosphate. So these two guys are isomers. They are isomers, and they can be converted. They are reversible. They are reversible in nature. They can be converted, and this occurs through the help of an enzyme called phosphohexose isomerase. Like I said, all these reactions are not possible without the help of enzymes. At each step, there is enzyme that catalyzes each reaction. There is enzyme that catalyzes each reaction. Now, that being said, this guy is being converted to another compound called fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. bisphosphate. And here, this is step 3. It takes in oxygen, it takes in energy. Energy enters the system. As ATP is converted to ADP, and magnesium ion gives it an environment to function accurately. Now, the enzyme here at step 3 is called phosphofructokinase. This step 3 is actually called the rate limiting step. This is one of the most important steps in glycolysis. Now, the step continues, and this is the first step, second step, third step. Okay, let me make it easier for visual purposes, so it will be easy for you to relate. That's why I come with different colors. Step 1, step 2, step 3, then this is step 4. Step 4. Like I said, I have a mnemonic for all of this, right? Okay. So this guy gets converted to a 2-to-2 molecule. This is what happens in this step now. Fructose, here it is converted to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyl acetone phosphate. So this occurs under an enzyme called anabolism. Anabolism converts fructose 1,6-bisphosphate to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyl acetone phosphate. Now, what happens here is this guy is reconverted to glyceride 3-phosphate by an enzyme called phosphotriose isomerase. So this guy is converted to glyceride for the reaction to continue forward. Now from here, another compound is formed. For you to benefit more on all these diagrams, you have to watch this video over and over and follow the steps, critically, so you understand what is going on at each step. Okay, this guy here is hydrogenated. It undergoes dehydrogenation reaction, and it forms a compound called 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate, and the enzyme is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, meaning that hydrogen molecule is removed from this compound to give birth to 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. glycerate. Now this guy undergoes another reaction to give, that's the carbon, the position of the carbon atom is shifted from the first carbon atom to the 3 carbon atom, and that gives us 3 bisphosphoglycerate, and that's catalyzed by an enzyme called 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate kinase. All right. Now the reaction did not stop; it continues. It's a 10-step reactions. So this is step 4, is step 5, B is step 6. This is step 7, meaning that we are left with 3 steps. This is step 7. Okay, this guy undergoes another reaction. This shifted to the 2nd carbon atom to give us 2. Okay, this is phospho, not di. This is phosphoglycerate. Now look at these 2 compounds. They are the same, phosphoglycerate. But what makes them different is the carbon position. The position of the carbon atom. This is located at the 3rd, that's the 3rd carbon atom. This is located at the 2nd carbon atom. And the enzyme here, the enzyme catalyzing the reaction is 3-phosphoglyceromutase. So in most cases, people call it mutase, just alone, mutase. Okay, and this is step 8 of the reaction. Step 8 of the reaction. Because of the size of my board, I'm going to clean this side so I will finish the last 2 steps. Permit me to do so. Thank you. All right. Okay, now this step 9. Step 9. This guy here is shifted to the first carbon atom. This is the 3rd carbon atom, 2nd carbon atom, and now an enzyme is shifting it to the 1st carbon atom to give us phosphoenol pyruvate. And the enzyme involved in this reaction is called enolase. Now to the last step, step 10. Step 10, this guy is converted to a 3-carbon compound called pyruvate. And the enzyme catalyzing this reaction is called pyruvate kinase. Now you will discover that the enzyme is one of the most important thing in glycolysis, because for any compound to be converted to another compound, there must be an enzyme to catalyze the reaction. Now, one of the things to note here is not just to cram the step from step 1 to the last step. One of the things to note is which enzyme is at work in each step. Now, what I'm going to give you now is the mnemonic for glycolysis. Are you ready for that? Now let's go get down to the mnemonic right now. The mnemonic method. Here I have good girls fancy food. I'm writing tiny like this so that the board can contain us, right? Don't worry, I'm going to get a larger board. Good girls fancy food. Now, the first G signifies glucose, and glucose undergoes phosphorylation to give us glucose 6 phosphate, and that is the G here means glucose, the G here means glucose 6 phosphate. Now F here means fructose 6 phosphate. The second F means fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Now this is the first form. Now the last 6 now is good boys, good boys practice potent politics publicly. Now look at the mnemonic. Good girls fancy food. Okay. Good boys practice potent politics publicly. Now the first G here means glyceryl aldehyde 3-phosphate. Okay, and the B here signifies 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate. Now the P here signifies phosphoglycerate. That's 3-phosphoglycerate. The second P signifies 2-phosphoglycerate. The third P signifies phosphoenol pyruvate, while the last P signifies pyruvate. You can use it to study. You can watch this part of the video over time. Good girls fancy food. Glucose 6 phosphate, fructose 6 phosphate, fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. That is the first form. Now the remaining 6. Good boys practice potent politics publicly. The G signifies glyceryl aldehyde 3-phosphate. The B in boys signifies 1,3 bisphosphoglycerate. While the P, there are 4 P here. 4 P. The first signifies phosphoglycerate, 3-phosphoglycerate. The second P signifies 2-phosphoglycerate. The third P signifies phosphoenol pyruvate, and the last P signifies pyruvate. Now we've come to the end of the class right now, and just in case you have some questions to ask, you can drop it in the comment section, and don't forget to give this video a thumb up, share to your friends, subscribe to my channel if you're visiting my channel for the very first time, and I will meet you in my next class. Thanks for watching.